Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and big news. Lots to get into. Ruben Amorim, Cunha's done an interview. Is Elliot and Anderson available on the cheap? But more importantly, just breaking news coming out, Mainoo hasn't travelled with the Spurs squad. This is coming out from the Manchester Evening News that Mainoo has not been spotted travelling with the squad to face Tottenham tomorrow. Jack Fletcher looks like he will come in for Mainoo. So, I mean, look, we would have to take that as surely injury, but, it's a bit unfortunate when he's not actually playing and he's getting injured in training. And it was Amorim himself who said yesterday that Mainoo's training really well and deserves to play. So who knows what that's all about, but it's a strange one. But he wouldn't have been starting the game anyway, would he? And probably wouldn't have got off the bench if we're being completely honest. But another setback for Mainoo, who, probably is just feeling like this is a terrible season for him at the moment. So we wish him all the best. Someone who gets all the best as well, and I do think this is incredible, before we talk about Elliot Anderson and a potential cheaper price than what's being quoted by Forest. Manager of the month for Ruben Amorim. We had player of the month for Mbeumo, which I think is fantastic. But come on, whether you're Amorim in, Amorim doubt, or Amorim out, I still think it's a very deserved Manager of the Month award. Obviously, I think we only played 3 Premier League games in October, beating Sunderland, Liverpool and Brighton. But there are some Arsenal fans saying, why didn't we win it? In the sense of we didn't concede any goals. But we scored 4 against Brighton and we went to Anfield and won. You didn't. You lost to Szoboszlai and you're top of the league, so stop being so bloody greedy. I think people are always going to moan about everything, but I think Amorim winning that is justified. I don't think it's controversial. Yes, it could have gone to Arteta, but the way Arsenal have had to win games because teams are parking the bus, we've scored a lot more goals. So I think the win at Anfield probably was the one on the board where they looked at it and went, you've got to give it to Amorim. So well done to him. I listened to what Ben Jacobs said earlier about how Amorim's basically going to get the season really now. He survived that difficult period 4 weeks ago. He'll definitely get till Christmas, and if he gets to Christmas, you'd expect him to get the season. So that's really good news. But look, managers have won Manager of the Month and been sacked a couple of months later. It can't. I'm not saying Amorim's going to get sacked. It can. Some people call it a curse, winning Manager of the Month. So it's just a step in the right direction. I mean, he wouldn't have won Manager of the Month last year, would he? There wouldn't have been any month where he would have got close to it. So it's a good month for Manchester United. It's a good month for our players, and it's a good month for our manager, October. And we've got to try and replicate that in November. Obviously, Forest game was in November, so this is our second one against Spurs tomorrow. But I think it's right to say it's well deserved for Amorim, and I don't think many people would have thought we were going to win that in October when you look at the fact that we had to go to Anfield. Maybe you'd expect to beat Sunderland and Brighton, but the Liverpool game definitely was the factor in that. Okay, I want to talk about the story from... Check out the video with Ben Jacobs and Beth earlier today. Sorry I'm not live with you tonight. Well, Terry normally does Friday Night Live, but he's not with us tonight. He's still with us as a person. He's just doing something else. I don't want anything like that rumour going around. No, Terry's absolutely fine. He's just not able to do the Friday night show tonight. So, because I'm on Bundesliga, that's football. If you want to tune in, get obviously that's football. But Elliot Anderson, very interesting. And I want to talk about these Cunha things as well. But Ben Jacobs talking about Elliot Anderson's price. Don't be surprised if the price is significantly lower than £100 million if Manchester United go for him. What does that mean? What is Ben Jacobs alluding to there? Because I start to think about release clauses or gentlemen's agreements or something like that. I just want to double check this. Elliot Anderson signs for Forest for £35 million in July 2024. They'll want to double that up. I can't imagine he's got a release clause of like 60 million or something like that. That would seem naive. But maybe there's there could be. It could be something like Newcastle have got a buyback clause in there of £60 million. And if he doesn't go to Newcastle, they have to honour that £60 million for somebody else as well. But it was a very interesting comment from Ben Jacobs that Elliot Anderson is available for, expects it could be significantly less than £100 million. Because significantly less than £100 million is not 90 or 80 to me. It's not 75 either. It's in the 70 or lower category. So, look, if we could get Elliot Anderson for around 70 million pounds, and maybe get Angelo Stiller in as well for 40. Do what we did with Mbeumo and Cunha and get a couple of good midfielders for around 120 million pounds. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. So let's wait and see what happens with that one, because I was very, very encouraged by that. And I think at the moment he would be our number one. And I think in relation to the midfield as well, it's very important to remember that it will change. Some people still talk about Baleba. I think Elliot Anderson is ahead of him at the moment, and quite rightly so. And hopefully we can, we can. Well, I say hopefully. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Hopefully we can get the number one target. That's what I was going to say. I wasn't going to say hopefully we can sign Elliot Anderson in January, because it won't happen. But hopefully whoever the number one target is for Manchester United, we get, because I think that's very, very significantly important that you do go and do that. We've had Cunha doing an interview as well. But I liked also what Ben Jacobs said about Diego Leon doing excellent in training. He's the type of talent that Man United feel could become ready very quickly for the Premier League, similar to Mosquera at Arsenal, which I think is quite interesting, because Leon has obviously come in from Paraguay, and he's obviously impressing a lot. So we need a left back. We need competition for places there. We don't want Dalot playing there, so I think that's really interesting. In relation to Cunha, though, he's done an interview and he spoke about Ruben Amorim. He said he's someone that pushes us forward. This is the most important thing, to be a coach in the big environment. The results start to come much more now, but personally, he's someone that can show you the energy and then the passion to be part of his team and do things for him, for the club, and to show you what can do better. He shows us our responsibility to use this shirt, and then shows everyone what it is to be part of Man United. Every single day he's with me is a little bit more intense, but I know 100% it's because he wants to get out of me the best and then show everyone what I think he knows I can do. So very interesting how that works, and I think with Cunha, it's I think he's a very interesting player for Manchester United, and it's interesting how he speaks about Amorim in that way. He also spoke about the Cantona comparisons and said, "What a player! I have a lot to do to be compared, and a lot more to do to be compared to him. I try to see the positive side of it, like being someone who has a lot of passion for playing for this club and for playing football in general." And I think it was Amorim himself who said that Cunha is a maverick. He has an aura about him. And look, the Cantona comparisons are ridiculous. I mean, maybe it's something for the youth, the next generation, to try and think they're going to get their own Cantona. And I hope you do. I hope Cunha is that player, because Cantona wasn't young when he came to Manchester United. I mean, answers in the comments. How old was Cantona when he came to Manchester United? He certainly wasn't 21. So age is not irrelevant to the Cunha-Cantona comparisons. But to be the Cantona, you've got to basically come in, nurture a whole generation of world-class players, and win us our first title in years. And I don't think Cunha can do that. I also don't think he's as good as Cantona either. But there is such thing as a watered-down version of that. And can Cunha be the spark that takes Manchester United back to consistently being in the top four and being relevant again? Well, in our own way, that's probably what we're looking for. I don't think anybody expects us to. I think it's impossible for one player to come in and do what Cantona did for Manchester United, because Manchester United were already along the path with Sir Alex Ferguson. He was already building something. We'd just lost the title race the year before we brought him in. So Cantona was that spark to take us to the dominant years. Maybe Cunha can be the spark to take us back to the credible years where we're actually competing in the top four again. So I get the comparisons, but look, the comparisons aren't real in the sense that he's the next Cantona. That's ridiculous. But he can be somebody that gives us something. I mean, look, I said it this morning. What he did for Wolves last season, and you look at how bad Wolves are without him, he is that type of player that can lift a team and win your games. And, you can become very reliant on these players, but Man United need that spark at the moment, 100%. Exactly what we need at United. So, look, I hope he can do it. And I think all the signs are good, and we were talking about this a year ago. This is what Ben Jacobs said, though, about the Ruben Amorim situation. Ultimately, he was under pressure heading into Sunderland before the October break. If Amorim gets to the festive period, which he's going to, and Man United are in the European picture, then the expectation has always been that he gets the full season and things are moving in the right direction. So, look, well done to Ruben Amorim for winning Manager of the Month. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Make sure you smash a like on the video for him. Just a little evening show for you tonight, just to encapsulate all the stories. Let us know your thoughts on Cunha Cantona comparisons Amorim Player of the Month. Leon knocking on the door. Elliot Anderson, what's that reduced price then? What are you thinking that's all about? And Mainoo, not part of the squad for tomorrow. What are your thoughts on that? Get your comments in. Get yourself over to That's Football as well for the Bundesliga if you want. The football starts here. And of course, tomorrow we are live for the match, Manchester United at Spurs. Lots to get excited about. Speak to you on the next one. Take care. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe and get your comments in. I'll speak to you soon.